This episode of On the Line is presented to you by Living.fit, your one stop for all your fitness needs. Make sure you go download the app Living.fit today. Now here's the show. Welcome to On the Line. Today is Friday, September 9th. We got a great show. Football's back, obviously. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams for beating the piss out of the Buffalo Bills, but it is what it is. This is UFC 279 fight week. We got Darian Weeks coming on the show here in just a second. Awesome interview. That was actually a really fun interview. Very raw, very real, very authentic. Once we wrap up with him, we go into our UFC 279 preview with our man Val Dewar. Very fun preview like we always do. And then we wrap up with our medals for the week. But if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Listen on Apple, Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher, any other podcasting platform. Hit that follow. Maybe leave a review. That'd be pretty sick. But anyway, tell your friends. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. Should be at 100 subs by the time this is out. But without further ado, let's go and dive into our man, Darian Weeks. We are joined by a very special guest. He's going to be opening up at UFC 279 against Yohan Lainesse. We are joined by Darian Weeks. My man, what's up? How we doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?
Doing great. So, real quick, obviously, you're originally supposed to fight at UFC Paris, and you are still on a main event. You're not main event. You're still at a pay-per-view, but are you a little bummed not to be going to Paris?
Yeah, there's some positives and negatives, you know what I mean? Time change would have been something to get used to. So, I mean, we don't have to do that anymore. Would have been cool to see Paris. Would have been cool to be a part of one of the first UFCs in Paris. But, you know, if everything goes well with this UFC, I mean, they'll throw some more shows, and hopefully we'll be back there after a while on that. But not too bummed. Still get to be on the card with Nate Diaz and Hazmat as the main event. Some other good guys have jumped on the card, that being Kevin Holland and Tony Ferguson. So, you know, it's shaping up to be a pretty great card, so I'll be all right.
A nice little complimentary for being pushed over. Like you just move back a week. It's not a big deal, and you're still on a pay-per-view. You're in Vegas, so that is nice. So you don't have to deal with the time adjustment, because that is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, for sure.
That is a big pain in the ass. So real quick, this is a really stupid idea, but I think it's a good idea. If you were fighting at UFC Paris, did you have your walkout song picked out?
No, I still don't have it.
Well, okay. Well, my idea was going to be, that song by Jay-Z and Kanye. I can't say it out loud, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
that would have been perfect. That would be iconic. You telling me that wouldn't just go viral if you came out to that?
That would have been. Yeah, that would have been. It would have been a legit song. Yeah, we might have to save that idea for the next time we're out in Paris.
For sure. There we go. I think Joaquin Buckley's gonna do it, for being honest. I think he's smart. I think he's one of those guys that's smart enough to do that, because he had the Dale dude, the Sergeant Dale. Oh. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But we'll see. If he doesn't, though, now you know. Now you know.
No. Yeah.
Now you know. Not everyone can come out to that song.
Hopefully we didn't give away the secret and someone else finds it out. So
that's true. Well, to be fair, there's also not a whole lot of people can't take that idea, though, too. There's only a limited amount of people that can take that. So
yeah, that's true.
That is true. That is true. So let's talk about. So before we dive into this other fight, obviously the fight got canceled with Cedric Doumbé. How long did you know about Lainesse? Like, did you know about that new fight before we all found out the fight was canceled with Lainesse or with Doumbé? Did you know already you're going to be fighting Lainesse and not Doumbé?
I mean, my manager had talked to me before it went public and asked me, sent me a contract about it. So yeah, I did know it. It was lined up, but I'm a guy who, I mean, I'm in this sport to fight. So I mean, regardless of who it is in front of me, I signed the contract and I just let it roll. You know what I mean? I don't even worry about it until we show up.
Exactly. So that's actually one of the next times I'm gonna ask is, you just don't say no. You kind of keep being said. Why do you think UFC just keeps giving you these big guys? I don't think they're using you as a step. So I think they're more just throwing you out there. We think this guy could win and kind of steal the hype. So we'll throw him in there and just see what happens. Because no matter what, it's gonna be a fun fight, and it's gonna be a fun fight for both the guys.
And I agree with that. I agree with that all the way. I feel like they throw me in there because they think this is a durable guy. This is a guy that comes to fight. Is a guy that comes to walk forward, you know what I mean? So I haven't really shown any fear with any other guys. So I mean, I feel like they would just they're just sitting here and keep throwing me some, until, brings that animal out of me, you know what I mean? And, for the last few ones, we've had to adjust, being in the UFC on 4 days notice is an adjustment. And then fighting one of the highest hype guys with a crowd of 38,000. It's just all been adjustments. It's all been something that we've had to get our feet wet with. I think now, since we got those two things out of the way, I don't think there's anything stopping us from becoming, the animal we started out being when I started off this pro journey.
Getting back on that finishing streak that we were on before, right?
Sure, for sure.
Exactly. So real quick, I want to ask, I only have one question about Ian Garry. It's this. I know, like, obviously the whole talk was like, oh, he's the next Conor McGregor and things like that. He's the best trash talker. I don't think he ever talked shit to you, did he? All he said was maybe like, I'm on another level, but did he ever actually talk shit?
No, I think he understood where his cards were on that one. You know what I mean? When you got somebody like an athlete in front of me like that, and you're not going to want to piss somebody off to do your best to try to bring the best out of them. He actually did the reverse, and he was like super nice guy. Like, he was hugging me every chance he got. Like, always touching me, happy, he had his family hugging me. And I was like, this is really weird. You know what I mean? Which, smart game plan by him. I wasn't in that killer mindset. You know what I'm saying? If he would have been doing some shit reckless, talking about how he's going to beat the dog shit out of me, well, you probably would have got, clobbered. You know what I mean? So, he played the game smart. He knew, that's not the guy to talk trash on anybody else. He would be like that. When he fought Jordan, he was dogging him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that still brought the dog out of him. He almost got his ass whooped for that. You know what I mean? Maybe he learned from that point of view right there. Like, oh, I need to, tone down the trash talk a little bit. So I think it was just him playing the smart game plan. I don't think he's a trash talker like Conor McGregor, because Conor McGregor shows no fear, has no respect for anybody. You know what I mean? He pushes the button. He doesn't care. He talked trash and threw a freaking dolly at Khabib, one of the most dangerous people in the lightweight division. So, fear is not a factor with him. I feel like he's just feeling, Ian Garry's just getting his feet wet, just feeling how the division is going to go. And I still feel like he has a long way to be compared to Conor McGregor.
Obviously too, you're going to be kind of a part of that for a while. I didn't actually, this is kind of off the cuss. I've only wanted to ask you one question, because I feel like the rest of your career, no matter where you go or no matter he goes, you're always going to be asked about that. Is that a little frustrating, but is that one of those things you're like, well, now I'm always going to be asked about this for a minute?
Not really frustrating, more, I don't know. It's just going to dwell on me that I didn't do what I should have did. You know what I mean? We saw in there that the athleticism on my end was higher. I was stronger. I was more determined to walk forward. I would just wish I would have capitalized on him a little bit. That way, when they asked me for him on out, I could have said, yeah, I knocked his little ass out. But it's okay. Hopefully, we get this win streak going. Good 5-6 win streaks. I'll run it back. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why we couldn't. You know what I mean? Let's see where we both end up at the end of the couple years, and then let's play.
Run it back when you guys are in the rankings. That's what we'll do. We'll run it back when you guys are in the rankings. So
that'd be good.
That would be great. It would be great. I know one of the things too with your fights, I've kind of heard this, like, before you had Ian Garry, obviously you didn't really know who he was. I'm assuming before you Lainesse, I think you said you didn't really know who he was either. Did you at least know who Bam Bam was before you fought him?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I was going to say, at least you should know him.
Yeah. That's just because, he's fought guys like Leon Edwards, Kobe Covington, Vicente. He's fought some good top 10 guys, and he's lasted with them. You know what I mean? Took Kobe Covington to decision, took Leon Edwards to a decision, almost took Vicente Luque decision to a decision that he might have won actually, and ended up getting finished. Good job by Vicente Luque, just bringing out the finish in seconds to go. So yeah, I didn't know who Bam Bam was. But then again, that's why I was eager to take the fight. I knew he's a come forward guy. He's a guy who likes to throw. He's a guy who likes to stay in there. And I'm a guy who does just the same. So I knew it'd be an exciting fight. And I was glad that was one of my first fights into the UFC. I feel like everybody got a real good kick out of that with me and him in the ring.
It's a good intro to the Darian Weeks show. Like, it's just like, you're always going to be a fun guy. You're always going to be an entertaining fight. Kind of no questions about that. And
For
so
sure.
going into this fight, unfortunately though, you can't get away from it. You have lost both fights in the UFC. Do you feel like a little bit of pressure to get a win? And you're like, this might be my last chance for a little bit to be in the UFC, or is it like, it is what it is. We're just going to go with the flow.
Less pressure, more hunger. You know what I mean? Like, I want to show people what I'm capable of, who I am as a fighter, who I am as an athlete. So I found myself after that Ian Garry fight being super hungry, like literally the couple weeks after that, to get back in the ring. Like, I'm like, man, I need to get in there now. You know what I mean? I want to get in there as fast as I can so I can show people like who this guy is, who this Darian Weeks is. And it's going to be a great one because, Yohan Lainesse is coming off and finished himself. You know what I mean? He got finished. So he's looking to get his first win in the UFC as well. So I feel like it'll be a banger. I feel like we're both going to come to try and, put the other guy out of there. And I feel like I'm going to be the one on top of that. I'm the one that's going to put him out. Whether it be, late in the third, early in the first, we're going to come employ a game plan. And I feel like it's going to work like clockwork.
Oh yeah, it's gonna work like clockwork, and I think there's another reason why you guys are opening the card for a reason. It's because it's gonna be a banger fight, and more often, I don't want to say you're gonna beat the shit out of them, but I think you're gonna beat the shit out of them, and it's gonna be a great intro, a great win for Darian Weeks going forward. And so talking about, I have actually one more cool question about Doumbé. Was the game plan to kind of show him that this is mixed martial arts and not kickboxing, just take him down to the ground and just pound the shit out of him?
Oh, I was going to show him that it's both. I guess would have employed his game. I would have went in his area too. We could have stand up and stayed and punched. You know what I mean? You get somebody in a comfortable lulling punching battle, they forget all about wrestling, especially somebody like Doumbé who's used to just kickboxing. If I get him lulled into, we're gonna kick and punch back and forth, and shoot a takedown out of nowhere, he would have quickly known that, damn it, and so I feel like I would have shown them both sides, like, hey, this ain't kickboxing, you know what I'm saying? We knee each other in the head here. We elbow each other's face open. We take you down. We take you back. We try to choke you out. So I feel like he would have ran into a whole new set of problems. And, maybe down the road when he gets a little more, experience, maybe he can come back into the UFC and we can do that. Like, I would love to fight somebody with the accolades that he has, that would just put a big on my belt.
That would have been it was a great fight for you. I thought it was another big name for you to kind of take advantage of, but it is what it is. It is as we got Lainesse. And I'm assuming, again, as we said, like, you kind of did you know at least so when he wasn't able to fight in Paris? How long did they try to keep you on the Paris card, or is it one of those things where it's going to move you somewhere around it? It's just not going to be on Paris.
I thought they were going to try and beat me or keep me on the Paris card.
Okay.
I thought that, but without you fighting somebody from Paris, I mean, what really do they have reason to keep me on the Paris card? So that's all right,
we just got done with our preview. And there's only one French guy like on the main card, despite like there being like guys on the prelims that make more sense to be in the main card. So I don't know. Yeah. It's a little weird. So maybe you could have stayed on there.
Maybe and maybe they just couldn't find a guy in short notice who was going to go over and travel to Paris. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's to come back here in the States and go ahead and fight. So I'm cool with that. We'll get to go to Paris at some point. Get to travel. But right now, I guess we're close at home and beat somebody up in Vegas in the T-Mobile Arena.
Hell yeah. So one more thing before Anthony's got questions for you too. Just kind of, easier if one person goes at a time because Zoom's complicated, all that other bullshit. But I know you're a superhero guy. Are you more like a DC, Marvel, maybe the boys kind of superheroes? Like what's your range of superheroes? I know you're a big superhero guy.
My range is wide, I like them all. Marvel has a deeper chart of superheroes. You know what I mean? The Marvel comics go way back into the 70s where they have tons of super, we haven't even heard about yet. But DC, well, I'm a big and not so much of the movies, but I watch the cartoons all the time. I'm not gonna lie. Big Justice League fan. I love the Justice League. They do, but I'm also a Dragon Ball Z fan. Would have to be my favorite. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
The Dragon would have to be at the top. You know, especially them. So happy that they just released this new movie, and you know we get to see what happens. Yet to go see it. It's hard to convince my wife to go see a cartoon. But
hard to go be like, hey, let's go watch this anime movie in the theaters. Like it's it's a hard sell. It is a hard sell.
So I'm trying to get there to see it before my fight. But yeah, that's probably where most of my inspiration came from fighting as a young kid, is just seeing that happen and just seeing the push that they push themselves through. You know, the how strong they want to get, how much better they want to get, how they're always training. That's what kind of sparked my interest in kind of how I live my MMA career.
And trying to go like Super Saiyan and all that. You're like, dude, I want to do that. So I'm gonna go out there and fight people. I want to go Super Saiyan.
Hey, can't wait till I go Super Saiyan.
All right, Anthony, what do you got for him? What do you got for him?
Yeah, so I saw you took a couple boxing fights. What was the reason, that you decided to go boxing and kind of step out of the MMA world for those fights?
Couple reasons. One, I'm a combative, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go whatever we can do, Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, I'm gonna try and do it all. It just happened that boxing stumbled upon me first. And two, they pay you even at the lower level, you know what I mean? They put money in your pocket. And then also just to get the experience with being comfortable with my hands. I'm a big, strong grappler. I've been grappling for a while through high school and stuff like that. So I've always been real comfortable with grappling. But I wanted to get way comfortable with my hands, and what better thing to do is boxing, where you can't use nothing but. And I've had a good time, and it was some good opportunities to get some guys that, I wanted to get some name off of, especially my last one. He was like 10-0 when I started fighting him or something, or so, or maybe 8-0. And he'd had all knockouts, and he was really on a rise there, and he had an astounding amateur record, and I knew, he was beatable. And some argued that I did beat him.
It was a split.
Yeah, he was a young boy. I mean, I messed good. He didn't really get any blood out of me, but I swelled up both his eyes, busted his lips open, stumbled him 4 or 5 times, and it's crazy. I have the video. I watch it all the time, and I'm just shocked that I didn't whoop him. Even his coach was like, "Wow, we didn't expect that." If say the decision was wrong, man, it could have went your way.
It was like, boxing come and play. They're like, we can't let the MMA guy beat him. We got to keep the boxing guys away.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of how they played it, I think. And him being from there was, they were like, and they called me on short notice, so they didn't want a short notice guy putting away their big
short
guy.
notice MMA guy. They can't have that.
If I got a couple on them, they would have slid on it, but it's all good, man. I just do it for the experience. I love it. You know what I mean? And I mean, boxing's great. Once I've completed my journey, here in MMA at this type of organization, I mean, I would go back to boxing too, just because of fun it is. It's so much fun, get in there and having to, dance around and land the correct shots. It's the most fun I've had.
I have to imagine it's a little less violent on you. You're not going to get elbowed. You can't get kneed. You're not getting choked out, things like that. So even it's a little safer on the body, I would imagine.
Yeah, it takes more stress off of you, just because you can run in there and not have to worry about getting taken down, like you said, or getting kicked, or getting elbow coming out of nowhere. The shots are pretty one-dimensional. You can pretty much make your mark off of what they do.
And your legs aren't completely toasted after either. You don't have to worry about those calf kicks or leg kicks or any of that shit.
I will give you that, though. They are still toasted. Like the amount you have to do in boxing, I totally underestimated. Like staying on your feet, moving, turning, walking down. I mean, your legs at some point, they weren't lying. Your legs are the first thing to go. I mean, man, it's so hard to keep walking forward. And let alone keep throwing your hands, because your shoulders are blown. You're throwing over 200 punches a round. And it's like, man, you're done after the third round. It's only 3 minutes.
You will, and you'll never do that in an MMA fight. You'll never throw 200 strikes, especially in 3 rounds. Like, you will not throw 200 strikes. It is rare.
Especially not with 10 ounce, 10 ounce, 12 ounce gloves on.
Oh, yeah.
So much,
yeah.
so much shoulders.
That's very true. Last thing I have, you said that you mentioned that you did grappling and other things growing up. Did you play other sports, football, basketball, run track, or anything like that?
Yeah, I did. I did do track, and I did play football. And then I did wrestling. But yeah, I mean, and I think those to my athleticism, you know what I mean? Just
Sure.
sprinting and doing all stuff that involves in track. I mean, it shapes your body into an athlete. Same goes with football. There's a lot of things that you do with football: pulling, running, tackling, pushing. That kind of shapes your body differently. So I feel like people who have those backgrounds to doing sports like that in high school and continue. And I actually continued it over in college. That was my 1 year in college that I did football. It kind of shapes your body as ready to do, a next level athletics, you know what I mean? Whether that be pros in football or pros in fighting, or, it just kind of gives you that all around, I guess, platform to kind of grow from there.
For sure. I have to imagine a lot more well-rounded, doing agility drills and whatnot. You have experience doing those things. You know what to do. Like you said, running track, build that cardio at a young age. So now you have it.
As long as you get in contact with me, because you're going to be on the money. We'll be here. So
Okay.
be in contact.
All right.
Then I guess we're going to jump straight on the highway once we leave.
For sure. I'll see you in a little bit.
And we're almost done anyway. You'll be done. You'll be done in a second. You'll be done in a second.
Oh, you're all right. I just had I'm just at the shop, so.
That was literally where I was going next. All right. So I know you're a barber. So what would you do with my hair? Like, if you were to cut me right now, what's my free consultation right now? What would you get?
Yeah, you do need a haircut for sure. looks like you push it back. I'd comb it back and off to the little side that you have there. I'll probably give you a low tape fade. Yeah. Something subtle, something that doesn't go all the way skin up, but drop a little low fade on you, line you up in the front, just probably texturize the top so it looks real nice and flowy when you put it backwards, and you'd be looking clean. I get you a date somewhere, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a struggle. That is a struggle. I had to get the free consultation. And then number 2, I know you're a big pickup basketball guy. How would you describe your game as a pickup basketball player? Because everyone has their little archetype.
I'm the best defender that's out there. You know what I mean? Just
you're the clamps.
A credit to my athleticism. I have a small offensive game. Maybe I can lay it up or, catch a rebound and put it back up. So much as a shot. I'm mildly good at mid-range, horrible at three-pointers. But definitely a defender. I go for the rebounds. I stay hard. My hips are real good just because I do stuff like MMA and have a background in football and stuff like that. So I can turn my hips real well. I keep a lot of pressure on defenders. They really hate when I'm guarding them.
So being an MMA guy, then you can't call fouls then, can you?
Oh no, I can't. They expect me not to.
I was say,
it's all good. I don't call fouls either way, just because we pick up basketball. I mean, if you got to foul me, then I'm winning.
Yes, exactly. I'll say that's a respect thing. You literally can't call fouls. That's my number 1 rule. I'll never call a foul. I will never call a foul. Everyone else has to do it.
That's for sure.
All right, man. So before we let you go, obviously you're not going to say you're going to lose. You're not going to say you're going to win by decision. How are we going to finish Yohan Lainesse at UFC 279?
We can finish him absolutely anywhere. We can finish him standing up. We can finish him on the ground. We can finish him with a submission. We can finish him with ground and pound. So it's just all what opens up on us that day. You know what I mean? We're going to run the game plan, like I said, attack the openings. I feel like he'll give us our finish, and then we'll capitalize on that, and we'll put him out, and we'll move on to the next card, hopefully fighting on UFC 281 when John Jones returns.
Hell yeah, exactly. John Jones, your favorite of all time?
favorite of all time. He's the GOAT,
Hell
baby.
yeah.
Ain't
He
nobody.
is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. No questions asked. No questions asked. All right. So, got any sponsors? Anything you want to shout out? Go ahead and do so.
Shout out my team, Iridium, my management team. They always put me in a position to be in position. I shout out SC Fuel, is a milk company down here in Sedalia, Missouri. Go to myscfuel.com. They order and deliver any meals around the country. Shout out CG Salty Sun, Hewlett House, Jackson Wink, Body Shop. That's all I got.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming on. Good luck next weekend. Sure, you're going to kick his ass. And yeah, good luck, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
Brad.
you.
All right, as always, great interview with our man, Darian Weeks. He's going to kick some ass here tomorrow against Yohan Lainesse. Let's go and dive into our UFC 279 preview. As you can tell, we're joined by a very special guest, Val Dewar. Val, dude, what's up? How we doing?
Good. I'm doing good. It's good to be here. I used to do a lot of podcasting. I haven't done it in a while, so yeah, it's good to get back.
Glad to have you on. Glad to have you on. Glad to have you on. And obviously, you're actually the first guest we've had for our previews in terms of like this new format. So that's a pretty special honor. Very special honor.
Yeah.
Well, let's go and dive on into it. Got started off with our first fight, which is the fight of the night guarantee. Anthony, why don't you kick us on off with your fight of the night guarantee?
Yeah, my fight of the night guarantee is Chad Enhellinger and Haley Alatang. I think these two guys are just going to come out and throw. I think they're going to stand there, strike, try to bang it out, and get a knockout. They're pretty early on the card, so it creates for some excitement. And we interviewed Chad. He said that he likes to be that performance guy, that fighter that the crowd loves and wants to see fight because he brings knockouts and brings finishes. And so I don't see why Alatang would not entertain that kind of fight. So that's my fight of the night guarantee right there.
It's just gonna be nonstop pocket exchanges.
Yeah.
And Hellinger is one of those like Steve Garcia type guys that just goes for it.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Exactly.
That's not my pick, but I love a good bantamweight fight. I got my Cheeto Vera shirt on.
Representing.
Yeah.
You gotta represent big old Cheeto.
All right, should I go? Or
Yeah, go on ahead. Go on ahead.
All right, so I picked. It's kind of hard because there's like 3 or 4 pretty good ones, but I went with kind of the obvious. My boy D-Rod versus my other boy Kevin Holland. Could have gone for like just sit down and shut up and watch. What's it called?
Yeah, shut up and watch. It's literally just shut up and watch.
yeah, could have gone for that, but come on, it's gonna be great. D-Rod. The only thing that might have stopped me was like the wrestling, but Kevin Holland's defensive wrestlings look better, and D-Rod's not that like consistent and offensive wrestler. No. So yeah, it's just gonna be some good ass striking.
Yeah,
those guys have
100% agree.
Chins for days.
100% agree. They're gonna bang. I have that one later on, but that's like the hardest thing about this little thing we got going on. It's gonna use these fights on one category, and I think there are so many you could interchange on this first one. So I'll go with mine. It's different than everyone else's as well. I got Darian Weeks actually. Funny enough, Darian Weeks, Yohan Lainesse. I think the first round is going to be a little iffy for Weeks, but if he drags it on out, I think it's a second and third round going to get a little dicey. Maybe throw it down somewhere else, but I think these two are just like neither are going to wrestle. I think it's going to be a striking war, and I think they're going to start off with a bang, and I think it will be fight of the night guarantee. Do I really think that? Not really, but it's also because I had to move other fights around. Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? It should be a good one. It'll be a fun one. I just didn't know where it's like I had other things I thought fit off better, but it is what it is. Let's go on. There's another I wanted to put maybe Barnett versus Collier as a fight of the night guarantee, so I think it'll be so funny. But I have something for that for later. Let's go into our number 2. We should all have the same example.
I just want to say real quick, which the thing about Lainesse is like, yeah, he has that insane power because Gabe Green's chin is insane and he knocked him down. But yeah, if Weeks, your boy Weeks can get it to round 2 or 3, he should win, I think. So. Oh yeah,
it's gonna be about surviving the first round and then just kind of taking over. He has a good gas tank. That'll be again. It'll be very fun. I think all three fights. I'm pretty sure we all have the same fights, just kind of scattered throughout the rest of our little segments. Which goes on. This goes on to our second one, which is the Dana White privilege. We all have Hamzat Diaz, right?
Yeah.
This is so obvious.
Man, it's like Dana White privilege versus complete lack of Dana White privilege.
Yeah,
It's a
Which is
for
weird.
sure.
I mean, usually Nate gets the Dana White privilege, but like not when it really counts, I guess.
No, he's just kind of set up to die.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a matter of like who wins it either. It's just a matter of like the
No.
little props with like how far does Nate Diaz
How?
survive? For instance, how long until Nate Diaz bleeds? Over under 2.5 minutes. I think I'm gonna go with the
Yeah.
under. I think he bleeds
Under,
within
like,
30
20
seconds.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean,
he get murdered.
I was surprised because obviously Nate's like really tough guy, so I was kind of thinking the books were gonna like underrate the potential of Hamzat finishing, but like the under was like 1.5, so they're really
Yeah.
thinking it's gonna be done. Round one is like even money basically. I don't know if you got how much you guys bet, but yeah, I was gonna look to bet like an under or a finish in that fight, but nah, the odds aren't right.
This is also
Yeah.
on this other like just sit back and watch. It's just a middleweight beating a
Yeah.
lightweight. That's literally what this is. And it's
Yeah.
literally a massacre. I don't know how many other ways you can put it.
I mean, and you saw the shape, like do you see the comparison that Nate from his last fight to
Yeah.
now? His abs, he looks more like Nick in his fight with
Yeah.
Robbie. It's really not good, man. It's really not
He even
good.
said he stopped training and
Yeah.
stopped preparing for Hamzat because I mean he knows like no matter how much preparing he does, he still doesn't stand a chance really.
Honestly,
So
when they booked this, one of the first things I said, and a couple other people have said this too, is like, what if he just lays down and refuses to get up like Nick did, or just right away they throw in the towel? Like that'd be the ultimate fuck you. to
I
the
know.
company.
That was
Yeah.
that was my first response. I was like, my first thing is I tweeted out the picture of the video of the boxers leaving the ring. Like that's the first thing I thought too. Which actually,
oh yeah, that dude.
that's one of the funniest videos. But actually, what do you think's more likely that actually happening or Diaz winning the fight? Because I actually think
No, that.
I think him
that
just leaving
for sure.
is like so much more realistic.
No, someone asked if they fought 100 times, how many times would Nate win? A couple of people were like 3, 4. I was like 0. The one time I see it happening is if like Kamzat breaks his leg on the first kick or something, you know?
Yeah, it's by injury.
Yeah,
Literally,
exactly.
that's it.
Freak injuries, like 1% chance, 99% Hamzat beats him up.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's like Hamzat can get away with everything. He can be the most sloppiest version of Hamzat Chimaev, and he's still going to beat the shit out of Nate Diaz. Like,
Yeah.
he can get in the ground and pound things like that. Diaz might be able to throw up a triangle, start flexing, but then he's just going to get slapped shitless. I think it'd be very funny. I was saying this to Anthony earlier. It'd be so funny if just Hamzat has him on the ground, just starts slapping the shit out of him. Doesn't even punch him, just
Yeah.
slaps him for like
Hey,
10 minutes.
RDA did it.
Yeah.
Nate one time was on the bottom, like, "Come on, punch me! You're not doing nothing from top." And RDA said, "Okay, bam, bam."
It's gonna be one of the sad. I think the 30 minutes between that fight and the Tony and Li Jingling fight, which we'll get into later, like I think that's gonna be like one of the saddest 30 minutes of my life. Like I'm gonna be so sad.
I mean, Robbie versus Nick also was up there.
That was sad. That was sad to
But,
watch. But it wasn't like he was
yeah.
getting murdered. He didn't get murdered.
No,
he got
he
finished, but he wasn't gonna get just like ragdolled
Yeah.
like
I mean,
you know.
for the shape he was in, like his boxing combos, like they didn't look as crisp, but he still had something in his hands, you know, but not the same.
Not the same
at all.
No.
Not the same at all.
All right.
So obviously you got those fights. We had the fun ones. Let's go to the fight that like just do not care. The fight, the smoke break.
We might also have the same one also.
Maybe we'll find out. Why don't you start us off? What's yours?
Yeah, I mean Dumont versus Wolf.
Oh, I was close, but no. But I think I have the same kind of
Okay.
area. I'm in the same area as you, though. I'm in the same area as you.
I mean, Nora Dumont's okay. Like she's okay, especially for the division. Like she's like the only decent women's featherweight other than Amanda, of course. Even though I think this one's back at bantamweight. She goes between them. But Wolf, she's 1-0. Her debut wasn't her debut on the Contender Series. Like this is a squash match and B just not a good fight.
I think it just has meme capabilities. That's the only reason I didn't put it up there.
Yeah.
It's because Dormont has every advantage on the ground, and I feel like she's just not going to use it until the third round. It's like, oh shit, I forgot. I can take her down. At will. That was kind of my thought process on it, but no, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm the same way. Just as this, what was it? Dormont's like a minus 450 favorite too. Like we have some crazy favorites on this.
Yeah, she's a big favorite.
It's less than I thought. Yeah, okay. It was like minus 300 earlier in the week. I was like, Should be higher.
Still not
Mine is
touching.
425.
Yeah, I'm not in the business of sticking money on that. Those type of odds though.
Low
No,
level women's MMA or low level heavyweights. Not the
Yeah.
best to do that. Anthony, who's your smoke break? Walk the dog. Go to the liquor store.
Mine is Jamie Pickett and Dennis Tululin.
Ooh,
I'm not sure if that's how to say his name,
close
but
enough.
I'm gonna say Tia Lulin is how I think it is.
Tululin.
okay,
I don't know. That might be it.
Yeah.
If you say it with confidence, it sounds pretty good. That's how you got to do it. You gotta say it like fast.
Exactly. Just say it quick.
Nice.
But that's my pick. I really have no interest in Jamie Pickett. He's physically, I mean, you would think that he would be a lot. You look at him, you think he'd be a lot more physically imposing. He's not. He's just a very underwhelming fighter to me. I feel like every time I watch him, I'm like, bro, you could give me so much more. Like, you could put so much more in the octagon. And
Man.
I don't know much about the other guy, so I'm down to take a break in this one. I don't really care.
He's not very good either. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pickett just wants to clinch up and
Yeah.
Joe gets the cage, and that's boring as shit. So
that Joseph Holmes fight and that Star Poli fight were like two of the Star Poli fight was like the worst fight I've ever seen. Up there at least.
It's up there. That was a battle. Now I had that one close, but I was like, you know what? No, I'd rather not see this one. But it's Elise Reed versus Martinez. Just it's probably the lowest level fight on the card.
I forgot that's on the card.
See, there you go.
I'm not making that up. I probably would have picked that if I remembered, because at least Norma Demont's like okay.
Yeah, she's at least decent, and she like actually has a there is gonna be like it's gonna be a fun fight, or not a fun fight. It'll be memey. It has very meme potential.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like this fight. It's just gonna suck. It's not gonna be good. Martinez shouldn't even be in the UFC. It's just gonna be a bad fight. And I would also like I think it'd be easier to make as a smoke break if it wasn't the second fight of the night. But it's also gonna be right after Darian Weeks and Yohan Lainesse, so that's gonna be crazy. You go into that, it's gonna be such a letdown after like Weeks and Lainesse. So no, I just don't really care about Elise Reed and Martinez. That's gonna be a good. I'm just not gonna pay attention. Go pick up some pizza. Go pick up some beer. Do whatever, you know. All right, so let's move on to our next fight. We're about halfway through. Let's go to our both guys have fun. I'll start us off for this one. It's Tony Ferguson. The leash Yijing Liang. I love Tony. I don't want to see him get flattened like he did against Chandler again, but I think that's going to happen. But I hope they just both go in there, have fun. I love seeing Tony smile, even when he was getting his shit rocked by Chandler at one point. He had a little smile on his face and some ground and pound. So I just hope Tony has fun in there, man. I hope it isn't like it's going to be Hamzat and Diaz. I hope it's at least somewhat competitive. We see some vintage Tony. Maybe he finally gets the Eminari role. We'll see. But anyway,
Yeah.
That's my both guys have fun.
Yeah. He has like, okay, so I'm the same. I'll just jump in because I'm on the same one. There's like a chance, like Leach isn't a great anti-wrestler or a great grappler really, but Tony's so much smaller and like older. So yeah, but like, yeah, I love Tony and Leach. I'm not like a huge fan, but like he seems like a nice guy, like a really, really nice guy. Like I saw him talking to Hamzat and being like you were my brother, we were bonded. Or that was, I don't know why I chose like a Slavic accent for that. But yeah, it was. He seems like a nice guy. I just hope Tony doesn't get finished. It kind of is my.
I think that's the win. Is that the win? Does Tony Ferguson win if he doesn't get finished? Is that a win for the Ferguson fans?
Yeah.
probably.
If he lands like one spinning elbow and doesn't get finished, just like the thing where although Nate has much less of a chance, but if Nate lands one Stockton slap and doesn't get finished, Nate fans will be really happy.
The Hamzat hype train. The hype train will be, if he's not dead, but it'll be if he can't finish.
Yeah, it won't be good. All right, what you got, Anthony?
It'll be slaughtered.
Mine is Kevin Holland and D-Rod. I mean, I like both these guys. I think Kevin Holland's going to win. I think he's better just about everywhere. And he has just a big physical size advantage here in this one. But, I mean, I like both of them. I don't really want to see them fight each other, but they are. So, both hope they have fun and just have a good time out there.
This is my second place for this one. This is my second
same. I was having trouble fitting those two into it because there was like three different ones where I was like, this could be here or there. But yeah, when this got announced, I was like, damn, that's a great fight. But damn, I was like really hoping they both deserved ranked opponents, especially D-Rod, because he should be undefeated in the UFC. That Dalby decision was weird to me, at least. And yeah, so he should be undefeated in the UFC. Beat Kevin Lee short notice. Or not short notice, beat Tim Means short notice in his debut. So he has like a great resume. I was hoping he'd get like like Ponzinibbio or someone, but then Ponzinibbio got out of the rankings, or Leach. But yeah, anyway.
So yeah, this is one that kind of, it's going to be interesting to see how D-Rod responds to he had an injury, he had surgery, I think, and that's why he's been out for so long.
Yeah, and surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was like a year out.
So it'll be interesting to see how he comes back from that. I know that I'm the same way with that. That was one of the ones. I'll be honest, I would have had that for the first one, Fight of the Night, or this one, but I have it for somewhere else, which is probably pretty obvious to figure out. But we'll get to that one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that one. I was
This
thinking
will
about
be
that one
very,
too.
very, very, very fun fight. I'm very excited for this. Very excited for Kevin Holland again. So let's go on to our McKinney Minute, named after Terrence McKinney. This fight won't go past the first round. This fight will end in violence very quickly, very early. Again, I think this is another one. But I think we'll all have the same pick on this one, like we did the Diaz Hamza fight. Let's go with Val. Who is your McKinney Minute?
So I think there's two potential options actually. Like, there's one that's like the obvious one that's violence, but then there's one that's kind of like this is my pick because I had to sit the other one somewhere else, which is Jailton Almeida against Anton Turkalj. I think that's how you say it. I mean, Jailton's like one of the best. I mean, he moves up to heavyweight, but this is at 220 catchweight on short notice. Turkalj got a contract after winning on the Contender Series and not getting a contract there for this fight, so it's kind of a squash match. Even like I know this girl who's like Slavic and she loves Turkalj, and she's like, he's gonna lose. I'm happy he got a contract. So I think Jailton's gonna do what he did to Parker Porter and Danilo Marquez pretty quickly. It won't necessarily be like super violent, but it'll be quick. I'd be surprised if it goes like past.
Literally whatever he wants to do.
I'll be surprised if it goes past 2.5 minutes.
Dude, for real though, he can do whatever he wants. To the Swedish guy, the Swedish.
Yeah.
I forget his word. He's getting murdered.
He's not bad. Like, he's kind of like average, but Jailton's just that good.
Yeah, Jailton's just like a super prospect. So it's gonna be master. And I think me and Anthony are on the same page here on this one. Kudalaba versus Walker.
Yeah, I just took the layup here. I didn't want to think too hard into it. But,
That's how I was too.
Jailton was my second option here if I wanted to stick that one somewhere else.
Same.
But
I think that one was pretty obvious. At least this one.
Yeah.
This one, either or. Walker still, even though he's been meme finished here a couple times in a row, he still has that power. But who knows? I mean, no CBD THC Walker. Could that be?
I saw that.
I'm just saying, maybe without it, maybe
yeah.
A dog. Who knows? But that fight, it will not go past the first round. So this is the one where it gets a little dicey. Let's go on to our next one, just the Sal D'Amato special, the special that will go into a decision. Anthony, why don't you give us your Sal D'Amato special?
Yeah, so I took Julian Erosa versus Hakeem Dawodu.
Hell yeah, so did I.
I think Erosa.
Oh, I did not think this would be like a sweep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Erosa always brings the fight. He makes every round close, even if he gets dropped or something. Like, he still makes it super close. Dawodu, I feel like he likes like clean, crisp fights. He doesn't want to brawl, and Julian Erosa doesn't really give a shit who you are. He's going to try to brawl with you. And I think that's going to make for some very, very murky rounds. Unless Erosa's just out here getting dropped or Dawodu's getting dropped, I think it's going to be just, I don't know who won that round for 3 straight rounds. And it's going to probably go to a split, or it's going to look like a split at least.
Juicy will be bleeding within the first 3 minutes, and then that's going to be the problem.
Yeah.
He's just going to be covered in blood right away, just like Ideas. He's just going to be covered in blood.
The thing is like, Dawodu's so good. Like, he's so skilled. Like, shout out to my boys at the fight site. Miguel Class wrote a great article about Dawodu this week. But the problem is, like, people don't pay attention to him because he's not like that violence guy that Erosa is. He's between the technical, picks his spots, and goes to decisions all the time. And a lot of those are like splits or murky decisions. He has that one draw also on his record. I like him a lot, but yeah, I mean, I feel like he'll be doing the clean work, but like, judges often overrate forward pressure, I feel like. So that's what makes me feel like, they'll lean towards Erosa, though I think Dawodu should outstrike him. But I mean, Erosa can make it close with anyone from Steven Peterson to Charles Jourdain. So it's like, he's all over the place. So
I
it
think
should
he's
be
going to
nice.
win on volume. I think Rosa's going to get the volume. It's just damage is going to be on Duadu. I think that's going to be what's going to be the difference. It's going to be that. It's going to be what the judges want that night, and who knows? I mean, also Rosa is also he has the grappling advantage, but we'll use it. I don't know. We'll see. Juicy maybe gets him in an anaconda. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun. That's going to be a very fun fight. But I'm on the same page as you guys. So let's go on to our next one, which is to shut up and watch the fight. Most excited to watch. For me, we've already talked about it immensely. It's Kevin Hall and Daniel Rodriguez. This is the first fight I put down just because I didn't want to pick either or the other. I just want to watch it, enjoy it for what it is. I think it could be fight of the night. I think it probably will end up being fight of the night. I don't think either tries to grapple. They're just going to stand there and box and kick boxes. It's going to be a hell of a fight. I think it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
All right, Val, how about you?
All right. Yeah. So I picked Walker versus Kutalaba. I could have picked I had Rosa versus Dawodu here at first, and then I had Holland versus D-Rod, but I had to fit them into the other spots that I fit them in because. Yeah, it was just tough to fit everything everywhere because there's a lot of overlap. So I picked Walker versus Kutalaba because, well, I don't love them as much as I love all of Dawodu, Erosa, Holland, and D-Rod. They're both like the ultimate meme fighter. It's the ultimate meme fight, and I don't particularly care who wins. It is just shut up and watch, and you have to watch because it's going to be a meme fight and a quick finish. But yeah, it's just one of those.
Oh, we could do Don't Blink. We could do Don't Blink as one of the fight names. I just came out the top of my 7 McKinney Minute. We could call it the Don't Blink.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Damn, I'm good at this. All right, Anthony, you're shut up and watch.
Mine goes to the Leech and Tony Ferguson.
Okay.
I like both of these guys. Leech is, he's a fun fighter. Seems like a nice guy from just kind of seeing the press conferences and just seeing little videos of him. And Tony Ferguson's Tony Ferguson. After he got brutally finished by Michael Chandler, I don't wish any more harm upon him. I didn't wish it on him before, but I'm not wishing it happens anymore. I personally think his last 4 losses have been just absolutely dominant losses. Like he gets finished by Gaethje, he got dominated by Beneil, dominated by Oliveira, and then knocked out by Chandler. So, I kind of expect the same thing to happen here, but I'm just going to sit back and watch it and hope Tony doesn't get hurt too badly.
As long as Tony walks out of the octagon with a smile on his face, I'm happy.
Exactly. That's what I want. That's what I'll be watching for.
That's all we want. That's all we want.
What can we really expect? Short notice going up to 170 and fighting
blonde,
the Leech.
He is blonde again. Just saying.
Yeah.
Blonde Tony.
Blonde Tony.
Yeah.
So first they cloned Oliveira or Tony to make Oliveira. Now they're cloning Oliveira to make Tony again. Cycles of cloning and blondness.
Maybe he's the next over 40-year-old champion. Who knows? Let's go on to our next one, which is the Captain Hindsight fight. The fight you look back and why the fuck was this line this way? Or why do we think this was going to happen? I'll kick us off. This is new this week. Mine is Jay Collier, Chris Barnett. It is Jay Collier. Now, he isn't. Let's put it this way. He's not that good. But he's somehow minus 400 favorite in a heavyweight division where the only people you could ever seriously consider a minus 400 favorite are all in the top 5. There's maybe Jelton Almeida, he counts too, but he's not a real heavyweight. He's just fighting a heavyweight against the guys in the heavyweight division that aren't that great. But I think in hindsight, when you have a heavyweight fight that's minus 400, you're going to go back and be like, why the fuck was this line this way? It's a heavyweight fight. Literally anything can happen. I know Chris Barnett's a little smaller. I do love Chris Barnett. But at the same time, though, again, it's just I don't think Jay Collier should ever be minus 400 in any fight. And it's at low level MMA heavyweights. This just doesn't make any sense. And I think in hindsight, we'll go back and be like, wow, that was stupid. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
So are you picking him? Are you picking Barnett straight up? If it was minus 110,
oh, I'd pick
who
Collier.
would you be on?
I pick Collier.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, if Chris Barnett's watching, though, he is friend of the show. For the sake of the show, when we get to our real picks, I'm going to pick Barnett. But if I were betting on my money, I would take Collier if he was minus 110. But at minus 400, that's just fucking stupid. That's just no one in that division should be minus 400 because heavyweights are so volatile.
The grappling does worry me after that Boudet fight. Yeah. But you could absolutely be right. And Collier brought up the grappling against Sherman, but that's Chase Sherman also. So
exactly, he just hasn't fought anybody. But
no, he just has a spinning kick, and he's losing it. He's lost every round he's been in the UFC. But again, it's heavyweights. It's literally anything.
Yeah.
Anthony, you're Captain Hindsight.
My Captain Hindsight fight is Norma Dumont and Danielle Wolf. I think that's, I mean, on Twitter at least, people are kind of saying Dumont's going to take Wolf down and she's going to turn into this grappler and whatnot. And I mean, Dumont's never showed that she wanted to do that in any of her fights. She averages a takedown per fight, and in the ones that I was watching, I mean, it kind of just fell into takedowns. It wasn't like she's actively like trying to double leg chicks and just slam them to the ground or anything like that. And she struggled with women who are bigger and longer than her, and Wolf is both of those things, and potentially even stronger. So I just think even if Dumont wins, it's gonna look a lot closer than what minus 425 or whatever it is. I thought Dumont should have smashed. What was that?
No, you go.
I was gonna say I thought Dumont should have beat Chiesa like very, very easily last time they fought, and that fight was way too fucking close.
Yeah.
So I don't really see why like people are gonna be paying 425 for Dumont, and I mean in hindsight, Wolf could very well win this fight too. So I mean, who knows?
Dumont has no IQ. That's the fact of the matter. She doesn't have any IQ.
I mean, that's the thing with like low to mid-level women's MMA. Low mid-level MMA in general is a lot of them, especially when they have a grappling advantage, just don't push that advantage for whatever reason. So yeah, I understand that. I think Dumont wins, but I understand that pick. So mine, also women's MMA though, where I'm kind of going against what I just said, but I think Irene Aldana is like a pretty good fighter, like a really good fighter. Like I think she's above that mid level. I mean, she's not like top level, like Nunes level, or you know, pound for pound, not like Wei Li level, obviously, but she's good. She's a better boxer. Chason isn't that great of a grappler. So yeah, I mean, minus 160. I don't really. I feel like Chason's overrated just because of her length. Maybe that might be why. I really don't know. She's really long. She doesn't use it that well. She dropped around to 48-year-old Marion Renault. And yeah, I think Aldana, as people have like forgotten a little bit about Aldana because she lost to Holly Holm, who's just like athleticism bullied her, and then fought once where she missed weight but knocked out Kunitskaya, which isn't like a super easy thing to do, and just hasn't fought since August last year. So yeah, I think it'll look. I mean, at least like minus 250.
Yeah,
Aldana might knock her out.
That was my backup.
Yeah.
That was one I was really heavily thinking about. I was also thinking about that being a potential Saldamato special. If Kiyosaki just kind of does a shit ton of clinch, just holds her in the clinch, but doesn't do any damage. This kind of shit like that. And just, but again, not as good at getting out of the clinch situations, things like that. But
that's the worry. But also, she's not like the same athleticism as Holly, where although Holly was a boxer, she's just crazy athletic, so she could just bully chicks in the clinch on the cage, which Chason doesn't have that crazy athleticism.
No, not really. She just looks like, but she looks like Margaret Rapinoe, so that works. That helps her out a little bit, right? Megan Rapinoe, not Margaret. Megan Rapinoe.
I got confused for a second.
Rapinoe. I don't know the first name. That is what it is. All right, let's go into our picks. We've already talked about Darian Weeks, Yohan Lainesse. So, I mean, for me and Anthony, I think we're both taking Weeks. Val, who
he's your boy, and so I understand. I'm gonna go against the grain, partially because I think it's like a 50-50 fight, and partially, mainly because I think it's a 50-50 fight, and you guys picked Weeks, so I gotta be the devil's advocate and say Lainesse.
Okay, dick. All right, Elise Reed. I'm gonna go with Elise Reed because everyone on Twitter hates her.
I'm taking Elise Reed as well. I mean, I think it's going to be a stand-up fight, and if it's going to be a stand-up fight, I don't know why I wouldn't take the underdog in this fight. So,
can I take a split draw? Is that allowed?
It's allowed. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Split draw.
29-28, 29-28, or the other way, and then 28-28. No, I'm going to go 29-29, not a 10-8 round, a 10-10 round.
Ooh, okay. I like that. All right. Chad and Hellinger, Haley Alatang again. Chad's our boy. We're both going. Me and Anthony going with Chad. Yeah. Anthony's not allowed to say he's not on Chad. You cannot say you're on Alatang.
I was going with Chad regardless. So
attaboy. All right.
On the show or not.
This one's interesting. Alatang has that wrestling that doesn't use as much as he should. I feel like. I think Chad has the stand-up advantage though, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Chad too. Yeah, because I think Alatang Haley doesn't push the wrestling as much as he should.
No, he doesn't. That's another example of the not very great IQ, though
Yeah.
you have a clear advantage. Norbert Dermott, Danielle Wolf. Val, why don't you start us off with this one? What's your pick?
Norma Dumont. I mean, yeah, she was my pick for the. I don't want to all tab away, but she was my pick for the one where it's like clear. Oh, I almost did it by accident. Yeah, she was like my backup pick. I think for the one where it's like a clear advantage.
Oh yeah, the not Captain Hindsight. It's the fucking Dan White. I don't know.
No,
they all blend together to me.
Yeah, never mind. Don't worry about it. Dumont. Oh, but she was my pick. That was my pick for the smoke break, just because I think having a 1-0. But my reasoning was like having a 1-0 fighter here versus a rank. I think Dumont's ranked. If not, she was. Then that's absurd. Like absurd booking.
Okay, Anthony, who you got here?
I'm going with Wolf because why not?
Okay. That's as good a reasoning as any.
I'm gonna do the same thing, just purely off the fact that she's a big underdog, and also because I think they're gonna stand for most of the fight, and she's a boxer, so fuck it, we ball. Let's go with Danielle Wolf. Moving on to I'm picking a lot of underdogs. Fuck, Jay Collier, Chris Barnett. For the sake of my relationship with Chris, I'm taking Chris. Anthony, who do you got?
Yeah. I mean, if you're honestly betting on this, I don't know how you could bet minus 450 on Collier, so I'll take Barnett. It's not a betting show though, so don't take my advice. Yeah. But Barnett here.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with the betting thing, but I'm worried it's gonna look a lot like the Boudet fight. Hopefully, without that, the technical decision, illegal strike thing. Yeah. So that's my worry. And Collier didn't use his grappling for a while, but he did in his last fight. So yeah, I'm going with Collier.
It was Chase Sherman, right? That was his last fight.
I think so. I mean, if it wasn't his last fight, it was his like 2 fights ago. But yeah, Nick Collier, he may be like a fat middleweight that probably is not in a good spot in his life, but he brought some of that talent up from middleweight, that technical ability.
Very true. Very, very, very true. Moving on to the next one, Jamie Pickett, Dennis Tiuliinen. I'm going to go Jamie Pickett just because I think he can survive the initial onslaught from Dennis Tiuliinen and kind of take over as the fight moves on. I think it's just going to be clinch. That's really it. I just don't think the fight's going to suck. I'm going to be good. It's going to suck, but I'm going to take Pickett.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the other guy. Dennis.
No, the guy.
Tiuliinen. I just Pickett just literally. I think if you give him a little bit of resistance, and you just have to be a little bit better than Joseph Holmes, and I don't think that's setting a very high bar to potentially beat Pickett. So I'm gonna go with Dennis.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Jamie Pickett because clinch, athleticism advantage, probably Tiuliinen. I mean, I don't think either of them are UFC level, especially if this was a good division, which it's not. But
185.
Yeah,
one of the worst in the entire roster.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be good, but anyway, yeah, I think it'll be some like athleticism, clinch bullying. I don't really. I mean, I was gonna say split draw, but I already copped out with that one. So.
Okay. All right. Next one, Gelatin Almeida. We all have Gelatin. Do we even have to go over that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're all taking Gelatin.
Round 1 submission.
Yeah, Gelatin by murder. Akeem Dawodu versus Julian Erosa. Dude, I'm riding Juicy J, man. I think Juicy J is going to make this ugly. He is I think he's one of the most underappreciated guys on the roster. I think he's going to make this thing ugly, and I think he's going to pull off the win. I think he wins by round 3 sub, but I'm taking Julian Erosa.
Like the Jordan fight.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, I'm taking Erosa as well.
Ooh.
I think he's more dangerous, truthfully, because he has the power threat, but he also has the submission threat. I don't think Dawodu really has the submission threat, and I feel like when Dawodu starts getting in these fights that he starts throwing a little bit more, he does get a little sluggish and he looks a little tired, and he might get caught in something. So whether that's a knockout or a choke, I think either one is possible. I did make this my Sal Diamato special, but I think there is a finish possibility in this one.
I think Erosa is going to snatch him up in something. I don't know if he's going to finish it, but he's going to snatch him at some point or another. He's going to get caught in something.
Yeah. That's fair.
I'm gonna go Dawodu decision, split decision by superior technical ability, taking him up from range and all that, and then building into combos later, which will make it closer. Like later rounds, it'll get closer, but I think like Dawodu, I'm gonna pick him to snatch like the first 2 rounds. Though, yeah, I think like I said, like this is my split decision or Saldamato fight pick. So yeah, I think it's gonna be dicey.
Okay.
It's interesting though, because Hirosa's so much bigger than Dawodu. Like he's like 4 or 5 inches taller, and he has like a 2.5 inch reach advantage. So I mean, like it's going to be interesting to see.
He's big. He's tall for the division, especially. He's kind of skinny, but he's tall. But you, Tommy, you said that Rose is one of the most unappreciated fighters, which I agree with. One of the most unappreciated action fighters. But I think Dawodu is one of the most unappreciated, technically skilled fighters. Like, I mean, he had a decent Muay Thai and kickboxing career, and then hopped over and has pretty good takedown defense over here too. Like, there are people picking him to beat Evloev because he had shown great takedown defense, but Evloev is just another level of wrestler.
Sneaky look ahead. If whoever wins this fight, they don't take enough damage, maybe they fight. Who pulled out? Yusuf. Whoever wins this fight might fight Yusuf next week.
Wait, Giga pulled out?
Giga pulled out. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so behind. When was that?
That was yesterday. It was yesterday. It's all in the past 24 hours.
Damn.
Oh, that's a little.
I really have just been watching straight Western movies for like 24 hours, except for when I'm like working or at school.
That's how I'm gonna be on Saturday when it's college football before the fights. Like I'm not gonna have anything. Okay, going on to the main card. Already a lot of action, more action coming. We got Johnny Walker, Ian Garry. Val, we'll start with you. Who do you got?
Yeah, so unless the lack of CBD has made Johnny Walker's chin iron all of a sudden, that I'm gonna go with Yohan Lainesse in the first round. I mean, his win condition is like pretty much all first round, and then he gasses. And Johnny Walker, although he wins a lot of first round fights too, he has the worst chin, and I think the chin is probably the biggest difference here. So yeah,
I agree. Anthony,
I'm going Johnny Walker here. Not anything to do with the CBD THC. I just don't think Kutalaba is very great. I think Walker's a little more technical. He's bigger, a lot longer. I think he can try to keep it at range and kind of just, like you said, Kutalaba's one win condition is that first round. So if he doesn't get him out of the first round, I mean, is he really going to be able to fight the second and the third round? Probably not. So I'm going to go Johnny Walker with this one.
I'm also going to go with Johnny Walker. I think Ian's going to get a 10-8 round, and we're all going to be like, why the fuck is Johnny Walker surviving? And then he's just going to touch him in the second round and finish it. I think it's going to be a very funny fight. A part of me wants it to go 3 rounds. I just for the scenes. Like that would be so funny. Johnny Walker go 3. The scenes would be so funny.
If it does, it would have to look like either the Devin Clark fight for Iwan or the Dustin Jacoby fight where that 10-8 thing happened and then Jacoby won rounds 2 and 3. Yeah. Or the Devin Clark fight where he beat the shit out of Clark and somehow didn't get a stoppage.
Yep. That's exactly how I see it too. I think that could happen. But no, I'm gonna take Walker just because I think he's been through a pretty shitty gauntlet. The THC CBD thing jokes all aside. I think he's kind of sounds like he's kind of not destroying himself, but he's in a bad place. Sounds like he's in a good place. So I don't know. I think maybe mind right Johnny Walker. Who knows?
What? Yeah. I just realized. Is he still with Kavanaugh?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the only reason I'm not confident.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Oh boy. At least we can rely on it. Knock on wood. That we can rely on it not to be the Santos fight over again, just because Iwan's such a madman. Like he won't
I hope not, man.
I hope not. But like I could see Walker coming out with that game plan, being like, Saints, and not doing anything.
That would be disgusting.
Yeah.
That would suck, but I doubt it. Kutalaba's going to bring the fight, whether it makes him die or he murders him. Let's move on to Irene Aldana, Macy Kiasan. I got Aldana, whatever she wants. She can win this fight whatever she wants, so I'm on Aldana.
Yeah, me. Aldana.
I think we're all on Aldana.
Yeah, Aldana. Like, whatever she wants. That's like my most confident pick of the card for the betting odds as well.
Yeah, that one I'm pretty good. I'm pretty damn confident in that as well. Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. This is the first. I think this is the last fight where it's actually people can make a case for Tony, I guess, but no. Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. I'm gonna roll with Kevin Holland. I just think the height advantage and the reach is going to come into play. I think the layoff might maybe a little ring rust. I don't know. I just trust Holland more at this point. I think he's at the right weight class finally, even though it is at 180. I think that actually benefits Holland more than it does Rodriguez. And I think no matter what, it's going to be a fun fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Rodriguez wins. I think it's going to be a very fun fight, though.
Yep.
Me?
Go ahead, Val.
All right. Yeah. So at the betting odds, I gotta say I like D-Rod. He's so scrappy, but straight up, yeah, Holland has that weird power where he's not like yoked or anything, but he rocked Marvin Vettori like just one of the best chins in the sport. He rocked him just because he has that. It's not like Paulo Costa thudding power. It's that snapping power, and that you don't see it coming because he's so weird and long. And yeah, so I don't think he's gonna get a stoppage, but I think the reach, the weird power. Yeah. I think D-Rod might be a bit
like made of rocks. Like your hands are.
Yeah. Rock. I feel like D-Rod might have a bit more like nuance in his striking. Like he seems like a weird guy like a really weirdly tough guy to fight. But that Dwight Grant fight like worries me for D-Rod getting finished. I mean, a lot of people are pointing to that. And it is only like one case out of a bunch of cases, but yeah, the power Kevin Holland takes it and the reach.
Anthony, I know Kevin Holland's one of your favorite fighters. So how
I'm on Holland here. I just think he's better everywhere. D-Rod is a fun fighter. He has good boxing. He has solid kicks, but he doesn't really kick a lot. He really is more of a boxer, and he doesn't really like to wrestle or grapple much either. And
if it was purely boxing, I feel like D-Rod would have a better chance. But it's
yeah, I would agree with that. I definitely think he probably has slightly faster hands than Holland, but Holland's so long and he's also super quick. And with the kung fu style that Holland fights with, I don't know. I figure it's going to be a hard day for D-Rod. I think Holland could easily look minus like 300 and just easily win a 30-27. But knowing Holland, he likes to play around and mess around, so he could lose a round just from bullshitting alone. And so that always runs a risk.
First. Like starting to gauge his reach and things like that. And it's
like exactly stuff like that where he can, And so,
do you have Kevin? You say he's one of your favorite fighters. Do you have Kevin Holland's "I'm okay" shirt?
I do not.
I got that after the Oliveira fight, and I should have won that for this. I was just thinking of that. But I'm definitely gonna wear it on Saturday.
Kevin Holland, super vigilante. Well, no longer vigilante, but yeah, we're all. I think it sounds like we're all in terms of picking, no betting, but picks. Kevin Holland. D-Rod though has value. If this is a betting show, D-Rod has a lot of value. Let's move on to the Leech, Ji Liang versus Tony Ferguson. My heart says Tony. My heart really says Tony, but I know he's probably gonna get fucking face planted by Lee. Which sucks to say out loud, and it's going to hurt to watch, but it's just the fact of the matter. Sucks to say. I'm on the Leech.
Yeah.
Same.
Question for me is how, like, knockout or decision. Leech isn't getting a submission, so knockout or decision is the question. It's soon. Like, that's the thing. It's too soon. It's not as soon as, like, when Marlon Moraes got slept by a Corey and then came back and got, like, slept by a jab from Rob Font. It's not like that, which was, like, a month, but 3 months. Knocked out cold, ice cold, one of the brutal knockouts. Like it's too soon, man. It's too soon. It's too soon for him, and it's too soon for the fans to see it happen again.
It's way too soon.
I agree, man. And his age, you pair that in, and going up a weight class, like this guy's gonna hit even harder. You know what I mean? Like it just all of it all around is just such a bad situation.
Leech has terrible grappling. That's the one thing Tony has, is if he goes grappling heavy. He's at Jackson Wink. I mean, fuck, they love grappling. So maybe he just goes grappling heavy, but I doubt he does. I think maybe I don't know, dude. Tony's so
he might, but
he's so you can't. Tony Ferguson is Tony Ferguson. Like we know exactly who Tony Ferguson is, and at this stage of his career, like he's not going out here trying to grapple. Like he's gonna come out here and bang.
He went out Justin Gaethje. He had a grappling advantage.
Always
never shoot.
He had a grappling advantage on Michael Chandler and didn't once try to. That was not even in his eye.
To be fair, he was winning, and he was winning the fight until he got clipped. I thought he was at least.
I think it was closer than he did drop him and hurt him, but then Chandler's ground and pound was kind of vicious. I think people undersold that. But Tony, that was the third fight in a row. Tony didn't look so good off his back. He looked better off his back. So he was cutting him with elbows, but he wasn't doing things to get back to his feet and throw up submissions. So that's worrying. And he's always been more of an he has that wrestling background. He's been more of an opportunistic grappler, front headlocks and snap downs and stuff than hitting the blast doubles and single legs and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, it's facts.
It's gonna be an ugly day. And to continue the sadness of UFC 279, we go into Khamzat Chimaev. I'm not even gonna ask who's winning. We're all gonna say the same shit. Here's a better question: do we make it to round 2? I'm gonna say yes. I think we make it to round 2. I think this fight isn't Nate Diaz getting slapped cold. I think it's just his face is gonna be so bloody and black and blue. The ref's gonna have to pull him off. I think that's the only way this fight ends, and it might not be until the 3rd or 4th round. It's gonna be very ugly, this is gonna be a fucking beating. But I think it makes the 2nd round.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, Anthony,
I think the only way. Yeah, I think I agree. I think the only way that it ends in under a round is if Nate Diaz, like we were saying earlier, does some silly shit and just turns around and walks out the octagon, or a towel gets thrown in or something. Because I feel like once he's in a fight, Nate Diaz is gonna kick in. Who he is as a person is gonna kick in, and he's not gonna sit here and be like, I'm not about to get embarrassed in front of all these people. At least I'm gonna go out I'm gonna at least go out fighting. I think at Nate Diaz's core, that's him. And he probably knows he's going to lose this fight. It's going to be brutal, but I think he also knows he's going to put up a fight and not.
I think that's why he stopped
smacked around.
I think that's why he's not going to. He knows what's going to happen. Or to be fair, Khamzat's fight IQ, maybe we're going to find out. It's not the best, and he just stands there and strikes with them. Shit, I don't know. I mean, trying to knock out Nate, it's kind of hard.
I mean, Khamzat has all the talent. True. Khamzat has all the talent, but yeah, I mean, the fight IQ, it's not worried here, but in the future, it could be. He wanted to brawl with Gilbert so bad. Andreas Michael was like, no, jab him. You'll win easily if you jab him. He was screaming his head off. And even the one time he did switch to southpaw and jabbed him, he dropped him, but then he went back to overhands and hooks, and, I mean, couldn't knock him down, couldn't finish him. But, yeah, so the original question, yeah, I think it is first round finish. I think the potential of Khamzat just winning by wrestling, even a submission maybe, but probably more likely ground and pound, is undersold here. He's so much bigger, better wrestler. Nate's been wrestled in the past. Nate's a good grappler, but not as good as people say. He's out-grappled by Rory, Leon, Dong Hyun Kim, RDA. Not finished by any of those guys. So I could go to round 2, but
they weren't
what?
They weren't middleweights.
Yeah, the size. They're solid wrestlers, but not as brutal as Khamzat. And Khamzat, yeah, he even could get a submission, by hurting him and doing it, or just he's just so big, man. But yeah, I'm thinking ground and pound first round knockout TKO.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be ground and pound finish. I don't think it's not gonna be cool. It's just gonna be ground and pound, just fucking him up. But it is what it is, man. It's gonna be, other than those 2 sad moments, I think it's gonna be a really fun card. Is there anything we want to say before we wrap up our UFC 279 preview? Anything else? Any thoughts?
No. I wanted to find my Kevin Holland and D-Rod cards, but at my trading cards, Panini Prism trading cards, but my stack of cards is way too big, so I can't just dig through them all and find them. So yeah, never mind.
All good. All good.
Yeah, no, it was good. Thanks for inviting me. It was really fun. It's been a while since, like I said, since podcasting, so I should get back into it. I have a friend. He was like, "Hey, you did a betting podcast. We should do it again. We should start it up with me as your co-host now." And I was like, "Okay." And then we did 1 episode. I did okay. He did bad because he did bad, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm done." So I'm like, "Dude, you made me do this." But yeah, maybe I'll try to get that started up again.
All right, obviously go follow him at it's 3.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so follow me at then number 3 ELS, the 3 L's. And I don't know, check me out at Cage Side Press. Got a new writing job. Hell yeah. And the octagonjones.substack.com, that's my friend's Substack, but I put up articles, analysis articles and shit there. It's fun times.
All right, go follow him. Check out his
Lit.
content. Let's go on and dive on and wrap up the show with our medals for the week. Awesome preview, as always. Going to be a very fun card tomorrow until the last half hour or so, which is going to be extremely depressing for any UFC fan, MMA fan over the past 10 years or whatever. But it is what it is. Let's go ahead and dive into our medals for the week and wrap this bad boy on up. I'll start with my bronze medal for the week. It goes out to Notre Dame fans. Obviously, yes, they lost to Ohio State this past week, and they look good. They looked all right, but that's not why they're not. That's why they're not getting my bronze. They're getting my bronze because Brian Kelly is already getting the let's just fire him and buy him out talk already down in Louisiana, down Baton Rouge.
Oh, yeah.
He's down bad. He's down really bad. And not only that, the Baton Rouge reporters are not afraid of Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly used to be a big bully up at Notre Dame. He did kill a student at one point. No one should ever forget that. He did kill a student on a scaffolding. But at his press conference today, like a couple days after their loss to Florida State, the reporter comes in late and he's like, "Hey, why are you coming in late?" And she's like, "I don't know. Maybe I'd show up on time if you won the game." So shout out that reporter for not taking Brian Kelly's shit. I love my Louisianians. I love Louisiana, but that's pretty badass. Shout out Notre Dame fans getting out of the Brian Kelly experience, and now they can hate him the rest of the country has hated him for years now. So that's my bronze medal.
I mean, those LSU reporters, they've been dealing with like Coach O for years. No shot in hell they're gonna be scared of Brian fucking Kelly. Like,
who do you think is
a real football territory now?
Oh yeah, he's no longer in the like you can just get away with like 9 or 10. Even though Notre Dame you can't really get away with 9 or 10 wins. You have a cupcake schedule. LSU, dude, you don't have a cupcake schedule. But
No.
who would you be more scared of? Les Miles? Who do you think would win in a fight? Les Miles or Brian Kelly?
Les Miles.
I think Les Miles would eat his ass. Not like actually,
no
but
question.
He can do whatever he wants.
Potentially.
Well, maybe at the end for a little reward. I don't know. I mean, ass is grass, and Les Miles loves to eat grass. So who knows? All right, Harrison, let's go into your bronze medal of the week.
Yeah, my bronze medal goes to foldable tables. NFL's back, kicking it off with the Bills Mafia, right back at it. You know they're going to go crazy out that tailgate down in LA. I'm sure there's going to be some ridiculous contingent of Bills fans out there because those are some loyal motherfuckers. I respect the shit out of the Bills Mafia, and I can't wait to see the first video of someone being put through a table today. So I'm just so happy the NFL's back.
I think Billy Q's baby actually gets initiated in the Bills Mafia today at some point.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah. I know that's happening at some point. I just don't know when. Maybe today. I don't know. But I know I know
it's Billy Q baby
time.
baptism.
Baby Q.
Bills Mafia.
Baby Q.
Baby Q.
Baby Q. Bills Mafia. Yeah, it'll be fun. Football should be great, but unfortunately, Bills lost. Go Rams. Matt Stafford. Go. Not go. Sorry. He's great. Anyway, Anthony, you're. I could look so stupid tomorrow. I could look really fucking stupid when this comes out. But I digress. Anthony, your bronze medal for the week.
Yeah, my bronze medal goes to Pat Beverly when he was
asked, fuck, that's what I forgot this week. God damn it.
When he was asked about what it would be like to play with LeBron and AD, simply put, he said they're going to be playing with me. I made the playoffs last year. They didn't. So that's just vintage Pat Bev. It's just Pat Bev doing what he does, and thought it was funny. I mean, it's true. I think he's never missed the playoffs in his career.
Even on the Rockets?
I'm pretty sure because he was there with James Harden. I could be mistaken, but I feel like I was having this conversation with a friend, and he hasn't missed the playoffs before.
Okay, I'm looking this up while you talk.
Yeah. So, but it goes to Pat Bev, the bronze medal there.
As a Lakers fan, what's your thoughts?
About that or about Pat Beverly?
Just about Pat Beverly, because it already seems like he's causing a ruckus.
I mean, I think you know what to expect from him. So I think anything less than this would be odd, right? Yeah. I think it was like expecting Westbrook to not play like Westbrook last year was just unrealistic, and I think it's unrealistic to be like Pat Bev's going to come in here and be chill and quiet.
You were dead on, by the way.
Opposite of Pat Bev.
You're done. He has never missed the playoffs. 2013 through 2022, he has always made the playoffs.
Yeah.
What a god.
Damn. That's from coming out of Dnipro, Olympiacos, and Spartak St. Petersburg, and then he went to the Rockets. So that is impressive.
He came from Europe.
Yeah, he was a Europe boy, but then he's
Euro
from
leagues,
Chicago.
Yeah.
Wow.
He used to get bucket. Look up his high
Right
school.
down.
I know his
high
highlight
school
tape was
stats
pretty
are,
nice.
like,
Yeah,
insane.
his mixtape's crazy. His mixtape's nuts.
Mm.
Yeah, shout out Pat Bev, already delivering on real quotable things, and we're only early September. And dude's an electric factory. Doesn't matter what side you're on. Can't kick the night. It's like Skip Bayless. Dude's an electric highlight factory.
Exactly.
This is a train you can't look away from. So I'm going to go on and dive into my silver medal for the week. It goes out to Boomers. So, and particularly Jerry Seinfeld. So after the Mets lost to the Athletics, Jerry Seinfeld went on Instagram and commented on the SYN TV Instagram and said, "I blame that stupid trumpet performance. Celebrating in season. We haven't won anything yet. Bad mojo. Same was when Baja men showed up to play Who Let the Dogs Out in 2000 World Series. The series ended right there." That is such a boomer take, but it's kind of true.
It really is.
You shouldn't have Timmy Trumpet out there doing Narcos if you guys aren't really winning a whole lot. They're kind of, the New York teams are falling apart. It's kind of funny to watch because all of New York is just chaos.
It's so fun to watch.
Chaos. It's chaos.
Love watching New York teams. Yeah. Pack watching New York teams. R.I.P. Bozo.
Yeah. So that's my silver medal goes out to Boomers. Harrison, your silver medal.
My silver medal goes out to Nick Castellanos because at the time we're recording this, it's been like 20 minutes since the announcement of the death of the Queen, and you just know that if Nick Castellanos wasn't on the injured reserve or injured list right now, he would hit a dinger later today.
I just got a Twitter notification he's active today.
Wait, for real?
No.
He's specifically lacing up just because he knows he's going to hit one.
He'll hit like 3.
Yeah.
This is big news.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
like a 3-worthy. This is a
big
3-worthy.
news.
Yeah.
All of them grand slams, maybe hit for the cycle kind of thing.
Yeah, this would be this is a cycle kind of like
The
terrible
home run cycle.
Yeah.
4 home runs.
4 home
blasting
runs.
dingers left and right.
Gets a 1-run, gets a solo, a 2-run, a 3-run, and then a grand slam.
Yep.
So there we go.
Exactly.
There we go. We go.
And Nick Castellanos.
I
I want to see him just come in for one at bat later tonight. Just one. He's going to send it yard.
It's got to be whenever they announce it too. They got to like time it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're about to talk about the Queen dying because literally, you can't avoid it. It's going to be talked about probably for the next couple months because they're going to figure out who is the next in line. Do you guys even know? I don't.
Charles. It's
Charles.
their son.
Oh, okay, well, I hope they start doing some.
I think he's officially the king now.
Well, that's kind of boring. I want some chaos, dude. I want some politics. I want some real life Game of Thrones shit.
Yeah.
That'd be wild. That'd be dope.
It would be pretty sick.
That'd be wild.
Dude, I would pay attention.
wild.
I would pay attention. That would be pretty sick. It would be pretty sick. But unfortunately, they haven't actually organized and don't really fight each other anymore over it. It doesn't, honestly, being the king and queen.
We're not going to get like the Duke of Yorkshire charging down on his fucking horse with a lance towards Buckingham Palace trying to take the throne. That's not going to be going on.
It would be pretty sick, but that is what it is. You can't get everything you want in life. Also, who gives a shit who's the king or queen? They don't do anything except their face. That's
I was going to say
it's ceremonial.
It is very ceremonial.
Yeah. Mickey Mouse, some say.
Very It's still kind of wild to me that they're still monarchs in 2022. Like,
they're not even real. They're again, as I said, they're Mickey Mouse monarchs. They're not doing anying.
It's like it's
Mickey Mouse monarchs.
Yeah,
it's just it's the job title.
Yeah. It's like saying, it's like saying you're the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, but really it's Jerry Jones running everything. It's a Mickey Mouse position. Anthony, your silver medal for the week.
Yeah, my silver medal goes to Antonio Brown. I don't know if you've heard that song, Put That Shit On, and the dance that he has with it.
Another dance is taken off. Another dance is taken off.
Yeah, the dance is taken off, and now a lot of the teams are playing his song at like their training camps and at shit like that. So Antonio Brown's NFL life still lives on without him actually being in the NFL. I just think it's funny, AB's not getting a job. Nobody wants to. He's a head case.
Over under week 7, Tom Brady begs him to come back. I say under.
I'd say under. Yeah.
I say under. I think the Bucs are gonna struggle.
Gonna be back by week 4.
That'd be wild if he's
Bruce Arians is gone. So and he's the one who hated AB.
That's true. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't see him out of the NFL for long. I mean,
He's just so
still got
fucking good.
hands.
He's just so good.
Yeah.
It's like the NFL just does not care. Like you quite literally can do horrific things to a person, and they're like, "That's good. You can still play for us if you're good." So
yeah, crispy fucking routes.
Yeah,
very
so,
crispy.
So
Very crispy.
cold, man.
Let's go and dive into our gold medals and finish wrap this thing on up. I'm gonna go to my gold medal is CBD products. I didn't realize CBD products make you like not be able to take a punch, but Johnny Walker claims his addiction to CBD and THC products is the reason he's been so bad the past couple of years. How much do you have to take for it to really make like okay? We all dabble. Let's be honest, we all dabble in it. I've never once had like. How much does he have to do? Like, how much do you do to like really fuck you up? Because I know a lot of people.
It made him
Good
schizophrenic.
question.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I would think that you would be able to take a punch much easier because like you're like relaxed so much more. I don't know.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know.
I didn't realize CBD products could derail a career like that because usually it's the opposite.
Oh.
CBD like improves your career, improves everything, improves your recovery.
Makes you feel better.
Yeah,
yeah,
it makes you great. But
never would have thought that. No,
I never thought that. So shout out
Weird.
CBD products for fucking up Johnny Walker. He's probably gonna get boinged again tomorrow. He's gonna get boinged very hard, and it's gonna be maybe as cartoonish as the last one. We'll find out.
Poor guy, if it is.
I feel so bad, but he gets knocked out like a fucking cartoon, dude. It's like Bugs Bunny. Boing!
It's brutal.
He's got to let a Tom and Jerry scream every time he gets knocked out from here on out.
I forgot to post that video. I was gonna make a TikTok or whatever of Johnny Walker fight week and just him getting knocked out by Jamal Hill with a little boing like sound. Oh my god! Maybe put like the little like a cartoon song like music behind it just to make it as funny as possible. It's just his knockouts aren't real, dude. They're like out of a video game. It just doesn't make sense.
His last one especially looked crazy.
Dude, the Jamal Hill one was so
super crazy.
That one is not funny. May not be the right word, but it's just so comically like just like the way he just jumps up. Like it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't at all.
Oh, I should also throw the one from his Cage Warrior days, wherever the fuck he was before in the regionals, when he gets knocked out like 7 times in a minute. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It took a second for me to register, but I did see that highlight. I think after Jamal Hill knocked him out, then that one started making its
waves again.
On Twitter.
Made its waves again, dude. That's another great. That's another not great. It's a funny video, but anyway, yeah. Shout out CBD products, Harrison, your silver medal. Because I know we probably already had this exact same conversation with Val, and we're recording this after. But I guarantee we talk about Johnny Walker's just in his ability to get knocked out in the most comic fashions. But anyway, this is the second time we've talked about it now. All right, Harrison, your silver medal.
Gold.
Shit. Whoops. Sorry.
Whoopsie. My gold medal goes to Jameis Winston because not only is he about to have a phenomenal season, but the dude can add body expert to his resume now. Because if you haven't seen it, the man went on the perfect little rant yesterday about how symmetrical the body is, equating the wrists to the ankles and the shoulders to the hips. He's spot on with it. It makes sense, but it was just classic Jameis Winston rambling. It was just perfect. I loved it. It's the sign he's going to have a hell of a season. Watch out for him week 1. He's going to throw 5 touchdowns and no picks because he's not throwing a pick this year. The bakery isn't open. Jameis Winston cooking up.
As one of the number one Jameis Winston truthers out there, he's not slinging the rock if he's not throwing picks. He needs to throw a minimum 12 interceptions. I want my Jameis. I don't want this fucking 129 yards, 3 touchdowns, just manageable. I want gunslinging Jameis Winston. That's what I want.
Give me 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions.
No. He's managed it now down to 1. Less risks.
1.
He's managing it down to 1 interception. 5 touchdowns and 500 yards. I want that Jameis. That new Jameis is he's gonna take over. He's gonna take control. But no, Jameis, like it's kind of like clickbaity. How like if you actually heard his full explanation, it like actually really made sense because you know how in your body's like symmetrical. Like if your like left part of your body's not like
it made sense.
Everything has to be balanced out and to work to be full in alignment.
Exactly.
he was making sense. It's just Jameis
Jameis.
Winston has said so much foolish shit in the past that you hear him and you're like, oh, come on, dog. What are you talking about?
Did you? So I guess
Yeah.
I guess now for every time he goes into the media room, he like holds the door open for all the reporters and stuff too. And I don't know why I think that's so funny. I just think of Jameis
not
Winston holding the door,
surprised.
was like, "Oh, hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir." Just like to every single one as they walk
It's a
in.
Jameis thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, Jameis, dude. If the Saints are good, I'm gonna be. When they are good, I'm gonna be
When?
You
unbearable.
better change up.
Not
You gotta change up the mindset.
Exactly.
Win.
Exactly.
You gotta speak it
It's a
into
win.
existence. Speak it into
Jameis
existence.
win.
I did speak Andrew Wiggins into existence. So I'm 1 for 1.
Yeah.
I was on track with Jameis last year until, as I've said this 1,000 times, Tom Brady put a hit on Jameis because Jameis was playing too well. And then
When Tom Brady doesn't like watching players do well, he always puts a hit out on them. He's
Levante
got that,
David tore his ACL. Fucking
He's
dick.
got the mafia out there in Boston.
He does.
Yeah. New England mob.
The New England Mob. Maybe that's why he's having so much plastic surgery. I don't know. All right, Anthony, your gold medal for the week.
All right. I don't know if you boys watch tennis, but the U.S. Open has been fucking fire.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much from the start to the beginning. I mean, start to the end, and we have the quarterfinals right now, or quarterfinals,
Semis.
or semis. Yeah, semis.
Yeah, because the finals coming up Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. You're right. So yeah, I mean, I got a futures bet on Caroline Garcia to win it all, plus 1,600. So I'm hoping she continues to keep winning. But even the men's, I mean, who was it yesterday?
Francis Tiafoe.
Yeah, no, it was Tiafoe played, but Sinner and Alcaraz, I'm pretty sure played.
Alcaraz.
Alcaraz did. I don't know if it was Sinner though.
As long as
was Sinner.
Kyrgios and Tafijo make it, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was Sinner and Garcia. Their match was like 4.5 hours, I think. Like that's how long that tennis match went. I mean, these guys and girls are just in insane shape. Like I didn't realize how in shape these people were until I started watching the US Open like this time around, because I never really paid attention to it, but sheesh, these people are in insane shape, and to be running back and forth and forward and backwards and swinging for 3+ hours, like that shit's nuts. So.
How many minutes or hours of tennis do you think I've watched of the US Open?
0.
0.
Accurate. I've been watching the WNBA though. A lot of WNBA. Candace Parker, my girl, going off.
Yeah.
I think
I watched yesterday.
Candace Parker, GOAT.
Yeah, she's my goat. But yeah, I haven't watched a single second of tennis, but I have seen the highlights of Kyrgios. That dude's a psychopath. I love him. He's an animal.
He's a beast.
Oh, he's wild. I love watching his meltdowns. They're so great.
He broke his racket last match.
Oh, that's my boy.
Beautiful.
That's my boy.
Peak Kyrgios.
Then comes back and wins. Like
Aussie.
Oi. All right, so that's what we got. Obviously, Queen of England's dead. There we go. Here's another announcement. If you haven't heard already, she's dead.
I'm not laughing because she's dead. I'm laughing the way you said it.
The way you said it, yeah.
She's dead. I mean, she is dead. Just T's and P's, but she's 96. Anyone who makes it over 90, you did a good job. You did a really good job at life. So not more or less the fact that she made it this long. Hell of a run. That's a run that'll go down in the history books. We'll see if who is
70 years on the throne.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's
who's next again? I already forgot.
I think it's Charles.
How old is his ass? Like 70?
He's like 70 something.
Well, if he can make it 5 years, I think that's a success. But I'm excited for us to move on to the next exciting thing in the world, which is now going to be the politicking and for the Queen of England. So all I'm saying is
England has to win the World Cup.
Is it a coincidence that Leon Edwards wins the welterweight championship and then she feels it's okay to die?
I mean, she has already seen a World Cup in her lifetime, so she doesn't need to see England win another.
That's not saying a whole lot because it's been a very long time.
When was the last? 1966.
66? Sheesh!
Yeah. They weren't even using the current World Cup trophy at the time. It was a different trophy.
She must have died. She actually, maybe she knew the United States is coming in to win like 3 in a row, and she just didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, she's like, those fucking Americans, they're taking our sport.
I don't want to call this shit soccer. It's football. I don't want to call it soccer.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah, it's fucking
here in
football,
about 3 months,
5 years.
soccer. 3 months, it's going to be called soccer around the world.
If we win this shit, it is mandated that it's soccer. You don't get to choose anymore.
It's gonna be crazy
Football
if
is
the US
American
wins
football.
in soccer.
When the U.S. wins the World Cup, it is going to be miserable for the rest of the world.
I feel like if the U.S. wins the World Cup, we have to implement like NFL-style tackling into the 2026 World Cup, since that's going to be on a home turf.
We'll be on our
Just
home
like
turf.
allow those players to run around and just spear the shit out of each other.
The
That
one
would be
positive
amazing.
is like our team is very underwhelming. Like, let's be honest. So the fact that they automatically qualify is nice. 4 years,
Mhm.
because they love to fall
Yeah,
apart in the qualifiers.
that is-
But we'll have even more like youngsters come up at that point who are going to be absolute dogs. Like the academies in at least my region, like the Philadelphia Union, they have a damn good academy. They have a lot of players who come up and are now playing in Europe. I know there are a bunch of other academies like Dallas and I want to say the LA Galaxy have a pretty damn good academy too. The youth leagues for the United States are fucking crazy. So we're gonna dominate this sport in the future years. It's fucking soccer.
That's talking soccer. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Any shout outs before we close this thing on?
No, sir.
Real football.
I think we're good.
There we go. The real football. Real football's here.
Real football. NFL's back, baby.
NFL's back. College football. Got some big games this weekend. Texas is not going to be all. Bold prediction: Texas loses by like 30.
Yeah, I don't think they're covering the spread.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to cover the spread. That's a trick.
They went into the SEC for no goddamn reason. They're about to
Take the
find
over.
out why it was stupid.
Take the over. Say the
Yeah.
betting show. Take the over. All right, cool. That's the show. Shout out Darian Weeks. Gonna get a fat dub to open up the show. Chad and Hellinger, fight of the night, banger. And then rest in peace, Nate Diaz. Excited to see him go. All right, we'll talk to you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around with me all the way to the end. I just want to once again thank the sponsor of the show, Living.fit. If you're looking to better yourself, make sure you go to download the app or visit the website Living.fit today.